I'm here today with Lieutenant Colonel Ostrow here with the Dublin JROTC program, and you got quite a few kids involved this year, don't you?
We do. We have about 93 cadets right now, which is a little bit more than we had last year.
And tell me what a typical day is in the life of an ROTC cadet.
Well, there's really no typical day because we have a lot of different things that we do here. We're required by the Air Force to do academic classes, which includes aerospace science, as well as leadership education. So they have to get one class of that, of leadership education and aerospace science every week. They also have to do physical training. That's a requirement every week. And then we also have to wear the uniform at least once a week and get a uniform inspection. So there's really no typical day, but they'll come in here, but the classes all start the same. So for that part, it's typical. They come in, they don't just come in and sit down. They have to stand behind their chairs at parade rest, and then the cadet leader stands in front of the class, calls roll, then has everybody sit down, come to attention and have them sit down, and then reads what's called the NOTAM, Notice to Airmen. And that's basically what's going on in the week, this week, or what's coming up. Some things as routine as what uniforms combination is going to be worn that week. They're talking about the parade. For instance, there's a parade coming up, and so we'll talk about when the parade's going to start, when they need to be there, so on and so forth. And after that, then we start. We get started with the lesson or whatever we're doing that day.
And what are the ranks in the ROTC?
Well, everybody starts out as an Airman Basic. We mirror the Air Force as much as we can. So everybody starts out as an Airman Basic, and then they are promoted based on a couple of things. There's what's called a permanent promotion and a temporary promotion. Permanent promotion is based on what year they are in the JROTC program. So second semester they get promoted. As long as they are progressing where they're supposed to be, then an Airman Basic becomes an Airman second semester. And then from Airman First Class, and then Senior Airman, and then on up the ranks. That's a permanent promotion. So what we call AS4, or Aerospace Science 4, that would be a cadet that is in their fourth year, JROTC, they get promoted to Staff Sergeant, or Cadet Staff Sergeant. But we also have temporary promotions, and that's based on positions. Because this program is a citizenship program and a leadership program. They run the program. We're basically, the instructors are basically just facilitators. And so, other than standing in front of the classroom and doing the lessons, when we go out and do physical training, or we do drill, which is marching, the cadets take care of that because they're running the program. So the temporary promotions are based on positions in the Cadet Corps. They can go all the way up to Cadet Colonel.
Have you got any Cadet Colonels?
I don't. We don't have a Cadet Colonel right now. Cadet Colonel is typically well, not typically, but is always the Cadet Corps Commander. So depending on how long the Cadet Corps Commander has been the Cadet Corps Commander, they may get promoted to Cadet Colonel before they graduate.
Okay, so out of the 93 or so you have, what's the highest rank you got right now?
We have a Cadet Major.
Oh, okay.
And I'm not going to say anything that he'll get promoted, but he's probably going to get promoted.
So basically, you're the facilitator, and every time I'm around y'all, whatever functions in the community, you're always in the backdrop. That's the reason, right?
Exactly. This isn't about me. It's the same thing if you see us at a parade, I'm not wearing my uniform. And the students, the cadets have asked me before, why don't you wear your uniform at the parade? Because it's not about me. And if it was about me, then I'd wear my uniform, I'd be out front, I want all the attention. I don't want all the attention. Right. They're the ones that need the attention.
And how long have you been here at Dublin High School?
This is my 10th year.
And do the majority of the kids, do they move on to military positions?
The majority, no, but we do have some that do. And we've had some very good success stories. But most of them don't. Once again, this isn't really a military program. It's a citizenship program. So the Air Force did not set this up as to be a recruiting tool. Now, if we wind up getting some people to join the military, some of the cadets to join the military, that's great, but we're not recruiters. So I've had before cadets, also other students in the school, and parents call me wanting to know about how to join the military and so forth, and I just direct them to the recruiters.
Right. Local recruiter.
Right.
And what's your background in the military?
Well, I started out way back when I actually enlisted in the Navy. Back when I graduated from high school, not everybody went to college. Not everybody had the money to go to college. It's not like it is today where there's a lot of opportunity for student loans and so forth. So basically, I enlisted in the Navy and very quickly realized that if I was going to stay in, I needed to get a degree and move on up in the ranks. And of course, back then it wasn't very easy. There was no such thing as online courses and so forth. But I got very lucky, and I got stationed in Charleston, South Carolina. And there was a school, Baptist College at Charleston, had a really good evening program. So I worked my schedule so I could make most classes, graduated, and then wound up going in the Air Force, getting commissioned in the Air Force. So in the Navy, I was a Poseidon missile technician and then a recruiter. In the Air Force, I've been a Minuteman III launch officer, an executive officer at a fighter squadron. Then I got out, went in the reserve, became a medical service corps officer, came back on active duty in recruiting, spent a while in Air Force Reserve recruiting, got to deploy to Iraq during Operation Iraqi Freedom, and then retired.
And you thought you was going to retire, huh?
No, I never thought I was going to retire, no.
Then what got you to Dublin High School?
Well, after retirement, I promised my wife we were going to move up north, so we tried that about 11 months. I taught up in the Bronx in New York. I said we got to move back to Georgia. So we moved back to Georgia.
And here we are on a frigid morning, huh?
I know, I thought I was in New York this morning.
It is chilly out there this morning. We're going to take a break. We've got a big announcement we're going to talk about when we come back. They've just acquired a brand new tool here at Dublin High School. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back.
I established this practice starting with a small office, but then we expanded. I brought in state-of-the-art facility to serve the patients around here. We have top-of-the-line equipment of treatment and chemotherapy delivery. Chemotherapy is a very delicate business. We have to keep the temperature of different chemotherapy drugs at different levels, and that basically keeps the drug in perfect shape. We have to have chemotherapy nurses who are chemotherapy certified and trained properly in giving chemotherapy. So I have chemotherapy certified nurses who are providing this treatment to all these patients. Our facility is equipped with the best possible equipment.
Don't settle for anything less than the very best when it comes to your health. The Cancer Center here in Lawrence County is Dublin Hematology and Oncology Care.
Okay, welcome back, everybody. I'm here at Dublin High School with Lieutenant Colonel Ostrow, and you've got I won't say a brand new toy, but it may be a toy, but you've got a brand new tool that y'all just acquired.
We do, and I hate to say it, I like things like this, and even though it's not a toy, kind of fun to play with. I like it, just like when we do model rocketry and things like that. I'm just into that stuff. So we have a brand new quadcopter. Some people might call it a drone. It kind of is a drone. The FAA thinks it's a drone, so we'll call it a drone. Just that some people don't like that term, but that's what we're going to call it, a drone. So it's a quadcopter. It's a DJI Phantom 3 Advanced. pretty good platform. And really all it is a platform for a camera. I mean, that's all it is. When you look at it, it doesn't look very special. It doesn't look very advanced, even though it says it's advanced. But really, basically, all it is a platform for a camera. And so it's pretty good. It has a lot of potential for a lot of things that we could do here in the community, besides having fun with it and flying it around and see if we can, one cadet flew it over his house to see if he could find his house from 400 feet up in the air, which he did. But so besides having fun with it, it's got some real life practical applications. And we're kind of excited to do that. The Dublin City Schools wants us to do some aerial shots of all the schools in which we're going to do within the next month or so to be put on the websites. There's other things like doing the parade, doing coverage during the parade. It could be used from anything from that to things as mundane as checking a roof for damage.
That's right, during a bad tornado or something.
Well, not during. I wouldn't go during the tornado.
As soon as it's over, that's right. Good point there.
Yeah, I don't think we would fly it. Although, I think the second day we put it up in the air, it was kind of windy, and I was really impressed on how stable it was. You look at the footage, you look at the video, even though it was pretty windy, it stayed where it was supposed to stay. It's pretty easy to fly, actually. It's very, very easy to fly. I'd rather fly that than the radio-controlled airplanes that we have, because I've crashed those numerous times. And I don't want to say this because the next thing you know, we'll crash it. But it would be kind of hard to crash it.
And we're watching some of the footage as you and I stand here and talk, but where did all this come from? What back up to making the decision to purchase this drone?
Okay, well, actually I didn't make the decision. The Air Force made the decision. They thought it would be a good project, something that the cadets would like, and that's what they do from time to time. They look for different things that would interest cadets, because obviously we want our enrollment up. There's what they call viability. We have to have 10% of the school population, and so sometimes it's difficult, especially some school districts, to attract students to JROTC, and I think that's one of the reasons why they made the decision. But it's something very good, because that goes along with a lot of our curriculum, and so they made those available, and we requested one, and we got it.
Well, good. Well, you're over that 10% if you've got around 93, so you're...
we're good. We're viable.
Yeah.
We have never had a time at Dublin High School that we were not viable.
What other tools, you mentioned helicopter, what other tools like this do y'all use?
Other tools? Well,
like the drone.
We really don't have anything like this at all. We do have things like radio-controlled airplanes, which we've used in the past. Matter of fact, we just got 2 new radio-controlled planes, one from the Air Force and the other from the Civil Air Patrol. We're kind of excited to get those up in the air too, but once again, they're not very easy to fly. The drone, for instance, I gave about a half-an-hour session to some cadets, and we went out and flew it. No problem. Like I told you, one of the cadets flew it all the way to his house about a mile from here. First time he ever flew it. That would not happen with the radio-controlled airplane. So we're actually going to go, and a friend of mine up in Warner Robins belongs to an RC plane club, so we're going to go up there one Saturday, and some of the experts will help us fly the thing and kind of teach us how to do it. In the meantime, the Civil Air Patrol also sent us some simulators, actually 3 of them, and they look just like the remote controls for the RC planes, and they connect to the computer. So they can actually fly the RC planes, actually, and then I put it up on my classroom screen, and so it's kind of about the same size as an RC. It kind of gives it more reality than looking at it on a computer screen. And so they could fly it and crash it. They could crash it as many times as they want. They just hit the reset button. I can't do that when you're flying an RC airplane. You crash it. You could see, I'd show you, I got a bunch of spare parts because I've crashed an RC airplane quite a few times. One of the new ones we got now is really a powered glider. So it's got a 73-inch wingspan, so just over 6 foot wingspan. It's made to glide, so it's a little bit easier to fly and land. As a matter of fact, when you land it, it glides. The propeller actually folds in, and you just land it without any power. It just glides in. So that one should be a little bit easier to fly.
But no video there, right? There's not a camera on the planes?
No. The only thing that I have with the camera actually is a little tiny helicopter that I have that's, that you only can fly indoors. And I've flown that in the gym a couple of times. Still not that easy to fly, but nowhere near like the drone at all.
And what distance from where your point is could those airplanes fly? How far away from you?
Not very far. You absolutely have to maintain visual on those things.
Okay, unlike the drone.
Unlike the drone, because the drone is first-person view, so you're seeing what the drone's seeing. So if the drone is 3 miles away, which is what they say it can go, obviously you're not going to see it.
Right.
As a matter of fact, a couple of times we had cadets out there, and the drone has come back and is directly above us, and they don't even know it because they don't have visual on it. I'm looking at the screen. They don't know where it is. We can't see it. I'll look straight up. It's right above us. So that drone has some really good features, by the way. Besides taking pretty good video, it's set up so that the operator can concentrate on getting video and not really flying the thing. So flying is pretty easy. When you go up, you get to whatever altitude you want it to be. You let go of the remote of the stick, it just hovers. So you don't have to worry about maintaining altitude. It's going to maintain altitude. It's got a mode where, and we use it all the time, it's the home mode. So what happens is you hit the home button and it comes right back to you. It comes back at the most direct route and then lands itself. So it's pretty easy to fly that way. Another one of the features that we have not used yet, by the way, is called the follow me mode. So you could actually, it follows the remote. So you could go in a vehicle, drive it, it's going to follow.
Wow.
Follow the vehicle. So like in a parade or something like that, if you had it in your vehicle, the drone could follow you throughout the whole parade route if you wanted it to, and then you could just be playing with the camera to get the angles on the camera that you want.
Wow. Follow me mode. What about what kind of length from the time you take off with that? I know it's probably battery operated. It'll last only so long.
Supposedly 25 minutes, 25 to 27 minutes. The longest flight we've done so far is about 17 minutes. But it's set up that if the battery starts dying, it comes home. It's also set up that if it loses signal, it comes home. And that kind of happened to us one time. I actually was given a demonstration, and next thing you know, I got on the screen, it said no data. And it was just black screen, and where it says speed and distance from you and altitude, everything said NA. That's kind of scary.
Wow.
And so I hit the home button, but I didn't know if it was coming home or not. And then the next thing, you know, it came back up. The video came back up, and sure enough, it was heading back. So it's kind of got a lot of fail-safes built in, so that it's kind of hard to hard to crash it and hard to lose it. Not to say that nobody ever crashes one or loses one, because it does happen.
Okay, Lieutenant Colonel Ostrow, you've been here 10 years. How much longer you think you're going to stay at Dublin High School?
Oh, I better say,
I hope a long time.
I better say they're going to have to carry me out, I guess.
Good. Glad to hear that. Well, thank you for what you do here, and thank you for your service to our
Okay.
country.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you.